what's going on out here anyway, and that's why they could never really hear me. I wasn't catching that, but they hear nothing that I'm saying in the bar.
Oh.
Or really, they hear you, but they don't hear me.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, do you have your
Other
portable mic?
other than me talking loud.
You have
Yeah,
your portable mic?
yeah.
Because
I don't know if it's charged.
what you could do, no, not the Rode one. I'm talking about like the one that you put on the stand, the one that looks like this.
Yeah, I got it.
Because what you could do is talk into both of those. You can plug your headset into the speaker bar and then put the other one into the Motu, so then YouTube can hear you and the bar can hear you.
Oh,
Jank,
I
but
guess that's what I was doing anyway, right? The first time, because I just had the regular headsets. I didn't have the this mic.
right. It's a little jank, but it'll work.
Well, I probably should do that now before we go. Hold on.
Extension. All right. Chat is live. Oh shoot, that sounds good on YouTube. I don't know how it sounds on the bar, but on the internet, your boy sounds like a real broadcaster. We'll figure out these sound issues here in a second, though. Well, I guess maybe at the end of the quarter. Hey, I'm not sure who's in chat or who's watching, but I know there's at least two because I'm one of the three. Thanks for the like, whoever hit that already. Um, I know you guys must be you must like us a lot to have given us a like before we even started talking about anything. So appreciate it. It's probably John. Oh no. Welcome back, mysterious third person. Glad you can make it. We're having some quick audio uh, fixes for the on-site location. So we'll really get this thing started here shortly. I don't know if the entire bar is hearing me riff or not, but I'm riffing for the internet.
They are.
Oh, okay.
Check, check.
I can barely hear you through there. I think I can hear you through your mic.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I got talking to two mics. I'm big time in it.
Oh, yeah, you got a little bit of an echo, but that's fine. All right.
Uh-oh. Is that something I need to turn down? Let me see. Maybe. What about now? Hello.
Better.
I just can't tell if they can hear me when I start turning these buttons. Hello. Okay. What if I go like this? Okay.
All right. Well, then I'll just go ahead and roll the intro.
Let's do it. Oh yeah, it's a great Wednesday night out at the Lantern. We got Jason in the house. He's up here serving it up. Let's see if I can give on my. Make sure you tip the host. I don't know what do we call Jason. Someone there. You call the wait staff, the host, the man, the the GM. He said, call him the Matrix. We're out here at the Lantern Street Grill and Tap House in Carrollton. Did I just say Carrollton? In Plano, Texas. Man, it's been one of those days for me, everyone. JT, and those of you that are in the chat, we do appreciate it. Man, I'm just telling you, man, we come out of Thanksgiving, and after we've given so much thanks, and one, just kind of ran into stuff Monday morning at 8 o'clock. When you try to figure out, man, what I guess that's a way to be grounded, and I'm very thankful for a lot of things. I didn't get to say Happy Thanksgiving to a lot of you, but man, I'm very thankful because I got an opportunity to do stuff like this, have wonderful, healthy grandkids, and I try not to take anything for granted at all. So when I'm doing this podcast and we're talking about things, please know that I try to stay grounded because I know I'm fortunate even to be here um, at this moment. So I guess the point that I wanted to say to everyone in this quick run out before we start talking about college football and why is Alabama ranked number 6, the Cowboys really for real or not. Uh, we all should be thankful for the things that we have. We get to sit, be in the house. It was funny because Jason just said, "Hey man, let me know if you get cold because I open up the windows, get some fresh air, this kind of thing." And man, there are people that go without that are really like cold because they don't have any heat. They're hungry. They don't get to eat. Um, Kids get to play sports. JT's finding out a lot as a coach on the things that he has to deal with when you're dealing with other people's children and not necessarily knowing all the things that they may be going through on a daily basis. So be thankful for what you have, what your parents do for you, what your grandparents do, what a bartender does. Uh, and I don't get it. I'm talking about him because he can hear me right now, but I get to learn a lot about him, just the way that he treats people and interacts with people. And I've seen a lot of different sides of that. Man, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. So I'm not saying that because he's a Cowboy fan. I'm saying that because he does try to take care of this place and the people that he serves. And he doesn't have to do that. And he has to put up with a lot of shit sometimes. Seen that too. He didn't want to deal with that, right? So I'm thankful for even how he's actually trying to protect people in this deal. So I try not to get too sentimental on these, but just be thankful for everything that you have. All right, and I'm thankful that Alabama is still 8-2. The Cowboys are 8-3. Um, and so let's talk about that and see if we really should be thankful about this or not. JT, why don't you come on back in here for a minute because uh, I've had some people kind of complaining about Alabama being ranked number 6. I didn't take that stance. I thought we're lucky to be in that spot. Um,
Yeah, lucky is apt.
okay, say something again, JT, to make sure you're coming out of these. I can't.
Can you hear me? Are you good? All
I
right.
got you. Okay. Um. So yeah, I mean, to me, we could have easily lost a few more games. I'm still disappointed with the way that we played. Well, let me stop. I was happy with the way that we played against Auburn, mainly just because we won. But being at the game, JT, being at the game, I saw what I hadn't seen all year. It was attitude, it was excitement, it was enthusiasm. I don't know if it really came through the television that way, but I've been in other games this year and they weren't jumping around like that. They weren't rallying around each other. They weren't doing that in other games like they did in this particular game. Now, I don't know if it's just because it's a rivalry game and it was Auburn or it's the last one for the seniors or what, but it was a different feel from the moment that they ran out onto the field through the tunnel than it had been before. And that's what I wanted to see at the beginning. And I got there to the early. I was in my seat almost 2 hours before the game because I wanted to see what everybody was doing, and it was good um, from that standpoint. So get back to the rankings. You okay with the top 4 the way that it shook out?
The top 4 are Georgia, Michigan,
TCU,
TCU, and who's 4?
USC.
USC. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I can't remember who 5 was.
5 is Ohio State, I think.
Okay. So, I mean, I think I'm okay with it as well. I think that's what everybody's still trying to figure out. I think TCU earned their spot
Oh yeah.
at 3,
Uh-huh.
right? Now, what happens to them if they lose, though?
Yeah, I mean
They're
that's the harsh reality of college football. And I understand that there's, you say, well, all the games matter. Yes. But the caveat is if you're going to lose early. Lose early. Don't lose late.
That's crazy, though, man.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's the.
Would this be an accurate statement? The 4 that they picked are there because they're all playing in a championship game. And I put and they only have no losses or 1 loss.
Yes. Yeah. That's fair.
So based upon that, shouldn't they all get in even if they lose and end up with a 2-loss record when the people behind them, I'm specifically talking about Alabama.
Right. The people behind them get to sit at home and do nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I think that is kind of the eternal struggle. I think I just figured it. Oh, no, never mind. Craig's.
Craig said he doesn't think TCU strength of schedule, but they did beat a lot of ranked teams at the time, right? I had to go back and look.
I mean, we can pull it up.
At the time, wasn't Texas ranked? At the time, wasn't? Did it be OU?
Yeah. So they beat Colorado. They beat Tarleton State. They beat SMU, and they beat number 18 at the time, Oklahoma. Number 19 at the time, Kansas. Number 8, Oklahoma State. This is consecutively. I'm reading the weeks one after another. 18, 19, 8, 17. And then they went on the road to West Virginia and they played Texas Tech at home. Then they go on the road and beat 18 again, which was Texas at the time. And then they go on the road right after that, beat Baylor, and they just backhanded Iowa State.
So that's 5 or 6 ranked teams. So I don't understand the argument about the strength of schedule. Unless there's another definition other than playing a whole bunch of top 25 teams. That's you name 5 or 6.
Yeah. I wanted to see if I could find like that strength of record stuff. I don't pay for ESPN Plus anymore, so S&P Plus is not going to help me.
Why are you being cheap?
Because everybody keep raising the prices of everything and not giving me anything extra for it. They just send you an email one day and just be like, hey, everything costs $10 more, but you don't actually get anything new with it. So some of the things I decided to stop paying for. Yeah, it's tough. You can say that. Oh, there's a resume tab on here. Okay. So here we go. ESPN says that TCU's strength of schedule is 35, the 35th hardest schedule in the nation.
All right.
But their strength of record is number 1.
Some kind of way you can strength the record.
Strength of record is it reflects the chance that the average top 25 team would have the same record or better if they played the same schedule.
So the strength of record with being number 1 is pretty damn good. Is what
They're basically saying that the average team, like if you just gave this schedule to anybody else, no shot they go undefeated.
Got it.
Which I would think I would agree with. Like there, say what you will about TCU, they didn't lose, and there is very few teams would have played that schedule and not dropped a game. I mean, TCU was very close to dropping a couple of them, but they didn't.
But they did. They found a way. Even when I was rooting against them.
So, I do know that according to Vegas, that the odds, if you did a parlay and you picked TCU and USC to win, like the payout would be enormous. So Vegas is basically saying that one of those teams are not going to win their championship game. They're saying it's very unlikely that both TCU and USC both win.
I might have to take that bet just because I mean, Utah, even though I think Kansas State's going to beat TCU, I ain't really watched Utah this year.
Well, Utah's already the one loss that USC has is to Utah.
So,
and
what are they going to do if both of them lose, though? Ohio State and Bama go jump in?
So that's so first, the first thing I want to say about Utah is Utah is in this position for the second time in 2 years, where they played Oregon and they beat up Oregon last year in the regular season, and then they had to see him again in the championship game. And I was like, man, hard to beat a team twice. Like, you, especially when you got to see them that close, it's just hard to, like, they got you now. They understand what's going on. And then Utah walks in, beats them again, goes to the Rose Bowl. So now I'm like, well, maybe I should hold off on saying that it's hard to beat a team twice, because it seems like Utah has their stuff figured out.
Yeah, they're a pretty good football team. So I don't know. I don't even know if I would be excited if Bama got in. Is that bad for me that if they actually made it in?
I will say this.
It would be 4. They'd end up playing Georgia probably.
I feel like if they got in,
ooh, Michigan, huh?
If they got in, I'm sure the odds would say Alabama would be a favorite probably against everybody except for Georgia. And I would say, why? I don't understand why that would be the case at all. But I would fully expect I would expect Alabama to lose in the first round.
Yeah, and that'll be when they'll win. Just because. I mean, I don't know. I've already conceded that it's about over and we're going to some bowl game without a lot of people.
Yeah, and I don't even know which bowl game it would be. I guess it's not even the Sugar Bowl, right? Because LSU is going to go to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I don't. What's another New Year's Day bowl or close?
The Orange Bowl.
Yes, you could. You could probably end up playing Ohio State.
I don't think so. So have you seen the Rose Bowl like making waves today? So the
No.
Rose Bowl basically said, yeah, like we know that, if they're basically saying, hey, if Michigan wins and they go to the playoff, then usually what we do is we take the highest ranked Big Ten team and they get to come play in the Rose Bowl. And they're like, nah, I think we're going to pick Penn State instead.
What?
So
You can't do that.
here's what they said. They said basically two things. They said they don't want a rematch from last year. They don't want Ohio State, Utah again. Because either way, Utah is going to the Rose Bowl. Because if they win, they're not going to the playoffs, and they will go to the Rose Bowl because they're winning the Pac-12. If they lose, USC is going to the playoff, which means Utah is the one that's left over. So they're going to the Rose Bowl. And they're saying, we don't want Ohio State because they were here last year. They're playing the same team. Their fans probably ain't going to travel out to California again to watch them play, and they're going to have a whole bunch of people sit out. So we would just rather take Penn State and get a new game. And I was like, I get it, but then like, what do we even do this for? Why do we even?
So you think they would pass on? Oh well, I don't know. They would want Bama though.
Yeah, but they can't take Bama. They have a tie-in. It has to be Big 12. It has to be Pac-12 versus Big 10.
No, okay. Well, that sucks. Not that I was going to make the trip anyway. I wasn't going to a bowl game, or I don't plan on it anyway. It's our 30-year anniversary. Do you know that?
Yes.
30-year anniversary. You got me a good gift,
No.
man. What is what's the jury you're supposed to get your parents on 30 years?
I think it's air.
Whatever.
Greg says he heard we will probably play Kansas State. Yeah.
Where though?
I think there's Bowl Mania. So let's see some. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up some.
Which ones have the playoff games? I don't even know that.
I don't know that either. I'm gonna look at CBS Sports for the bowl predictions.
No, it's not the Cotton Bowl.
Craig says Sugar Bowl. So the college football playoff is the Peach and Fiesta Bowl this year. The selection committee bowl games, according to CBS, does have Alabama and Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, which to me is kind of crazy because I guess they are the highest rated, the highest ranked SEC team after that because LSU lost, which was wild. Speaking of which, I don't even see LSU on this list of bowl games. Where are they at? Oh, here they are. Citrus Bowl. Man, what a time! You get to go to the SEC championship, and then you end up in the Citrus Bowl.
Fall out.
That's crazy.
You do realize that everybody's played their best game against Alabama. Our 2 losses. Think about what Tennessee is right now, and where LSU is. Well, you can even think about where Texas is. All the teams that played us, very difficult. I think they put all the eggs in the basket on the Alabama game, and
No, I definitely think so. I think you can definitely say that with Tennessee, and LSU for sure. I mean those 3 teams,
and Texas
all have. Yeah, I'm including Texas. They all have some kind of chip on their shoulder when it comes to Alabama anyway, with Tennessee just being beaten since the iPhone came out. So that was like that was finally them like getting over the hump of like, this is the one team that you couldn't beat ever. Well, I guess I shouldn't say ever, but in the last 15, 16 years, LSU as a program, that's not the case, but Brian Kelly even said it himself. The whole reason he came to LSU was to beat Nick Saban in Alabama. That was it. That was like his only reason for being here. And then you got Sarkisian, who was at Alabama. Anyway, so I think it's kind of the same thing. I kind of had a similar feeling when we played Coram Deo this year at John Paul. Not because I didn't like Coram Deo or not because I didn't like Coach Johnson, because I really like Coach Johnson, but it was just I'd even said it to Granado before the game. I was like, this one's not personal, but it's a little personal. He was like, why? Did something just happen? And I was like, no, it's not that I'm mad at him or I don't like him or he said something. It's just, those are one of the games that you win and you feel like you belong and that you can actually do something.
Mm-hmm. You can tell the truth. It was because of that one gasser he made you run after practice.
Nah.
And because you dropped the pass or you fumbled the ball or whatever you did. Whatever happened to that one DB coach that you had?
Coach Hurd?
Jesus Christ. Where's Coach Hurd?
I don't know where he's at. He was at Katy. He's not at Katy no more, so I don't know where he's at. But I did try to Google him the other day to find out where he was.
Who's Coach Hurd? He's throwing on your side.
He's a excellent track coach, but boy, I did not like him as a DB coach. I mean, I really didn't like him as a track coach either, but you couldn't argue with the results.
Facts. Well, I don't know. All right, any predictions? I'm going back. We'll come back to Alabama here, but any predictions on who wins the state championship? Parrish and Prestonwood this week.
Is this?
Just asking. You might go with Prestonwood.
If Prestonwood wins, I would be absolutely shocked. Like, I know Prestonwood's good. I'm not saying they're not good. But, like, what I've seen from Parrish, just as far as scores and who they beat, Parrish is on another level.
Oh, yeah. Well, they smashed Prestonwood the first time this year in district play. So, it's a rematch. Maybe, like you said, it's hard to beat someone twice.
Look, man, we played Parrish twice, and they did the same thing to us the first time, or the second time as they did the first time. I don't. And in high school, I don't see that being as big of a deal.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know, man. I've been blocked. I'm going to go back to Alabama, and people may get, there goes John O. He taking a night off.
Okay.
He went down to the Alabama game. I did get a hookup with him and see me. So he gave me a good insight on this. And I haven't called Langham about this yet, but I need to. So John took me over. We went out. It wasn't on the quad, but right across the street from the quad. I was meeting with some Bama folks. I won't say from where, all this kind of stuff. But it's a big Bama party. Took some pictures, a lot of pictures. Had some drinks, had some food. You ever had turducken, by the way?
I've heard John Madden in his clips about turducken.
Yeah, so
but no, I have not had turducken.
So I had it first time while I was there. It wasn't bad. It was good. But anyway, so it was kind of cool. Nice to hang out. We were there for quite a while. Had some Yellow Hammer drinks and real nice people. And so he, while I was there, one of the guys was talking to me about my play in the SEC championship game against Florida.
You mean Langham's?
Well, yes.
But
he was talking about my play.
Yes.
So, or whatever. And we get these all the time. Me and Langham always joke and talk about. He's always taking a hold of my play because they always say that he made a great play in the national championship game, and they're always telling me this, that I made a great play in the. So I didn't correct anything. I just went on with it. Yes, sir. Blah blah blah. That kind of thing. Well,
yeah, I'm sure Langham would love to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, we kid about it all the time. So John comes and tells me later. He said, "Hey, the people really appreciated you coming. They even posted you on Facebook that you came by their tailgate, and they called you Antonio Langham." Yeah. So I'm still taking credit for the play. I did have an interception in Florida to help win the game, 28-21. Um, yeah, and I need to hit Langham up about that. But anyway, it was great times. We beat the rain. It didn't rain till after the game, and it poured. It stormed. So I'm very grateful for that piece. So I want to hear what John has to say too. John, if you're listening, what do you think? Are you okay with Alabama being 6? All right. So
I mean,
all
I
right,
really do kind of think they are relatively lucky to be 6.
that's my deal too. I don't even know if we should be that high, but we've been hard on Bama all summer.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, you look at these. I mean, if you just look at the team, right? Just eye test, and I don't know that there has been any game that I can point to that I would say you could walk away from and say, yeah, this is a championship caliber football team.
Which scrub did we play early? There's a scrub we played early.
There,
Wasn't Mercer,
huh?
wasn't Mercer or somebody, but someone
Utah
early.
State.
Yeah, we look pretty good in Utah State game.
That doesn't. John says he's good with 6. Honestly, not sure anyone deserves 5. OSU is overrated, getting destroyed by Michigan. I mean,
Okay.
I guess, but
Oh, sorry about me putting my stuff in your way right there.
I mean,
All right.
I
So
would
let's
say
talk
we're
about these
probably
guys.
overrated too.
Yeah, I would agree. So let's talk about these transfers. Update everybody on what's going on. What this portal? What's happening?
So apparently, Ryan Fowler asked me a good question. I don't know that JoJo Earl I agree, Greg. Way too many mistakes and not enough discipline. I don't know. JoJo Earl is for sure in the portal, but we do know that Christian Leary, Trayshawn Holden, Ja'Cory Brooks are.
That's crazy to me. They're the dudes now.
Well, that is why I texted you, because I was like, we talk a lot about not getting playing time and transferring, but I was like, something's not right if you are the starters and you're like, nah, no thanks. We're gonna do something else.
So speculate then. What do you think, or do you want to finish? Why don't you finish and then we'll come back and speculate?
So all I had the two other like highlights to really understand maybe how, I don't want to say dire, but how concerning this may be, is that there is only one receiver left on the roster from the 2020 class, and I promise you've probably never heard of him. His name is Tyu Jones Bell.
Oh yeah.
That guy. And then so basically they took, over the last 2 recruiting cycles, they've taken 7 receivers. 4 of them have gone into the transfer portal. Ajayi Hall was one of those 4. He was gone before then.
Right.
But you've got 3 leaving now. So for me, this raises more questions.
It's a scam, man. Someone give them more money, tell them to beat it, man. Don't worry about these NIL deals. Gotcha.
Craig Young said he's worried somebody did something shady and no one wants to get caught.
Yeah, man. This is Auburn down there cutting checks. just gonna leave, man.
So
Because I have
the thing that I keep coming back to, and I've said it, I don't know how many weeks in a row now, is about player development and things like that. It's when I've asked where Christian Leary was. Apparently, Christian Leary's been kind of asking the same thing. But it's kind of weird just to read on the message boards like, oh, these guys are gone. And everybody's like, oh, well, they weren't no good anyway. And it's like, all right, well, they weren't no good anyway, but they were the leaders in reception and yards, which I admit, not a lot of yards, not really that many receptions. But if those are the guys that were the starters and they were no good, and then you have the guys that are behind them that could not get on the field, like, then where are our receivers really? Like, how do we go from Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs to, and even Jameson Williams and John Mechie, to, we got these four dudes who start for us and they're like, nah, we're out.
maybe they're worried about quarterback.
That's fair. I'm worried about quarterback.
Well, maybe they're going, I don't know.
I'm worried about quarterback. So that's fair.
Man, I know it. I'm in favor of player rights and all this stuff. I just hate this whole chess portal thing. I do. But whatever, it's the right thing. I'm just saying, I got to get used to just non-committal people anymore and just do what's best for you.
Well, I'm still blaming Bill O'Brien. That's which Bill O'Brien can get in the transfer portal with him.
Did he take a job yet?
He has not taken a job yet. That probably won't be announced until after a potential bowl game anyway, because that's just the way it works, unless him and Saban hate each other, like him and Lane Kiffin, and ask him to leave a little bit early. But from what I saw, Bill O'Brien is one of the leading candidates at Georgia Tech, and he's kind of made it clear that he wants to go back to the pros anyway.
Well, he can get in. All right, let me tell you something that I learned. And John, I'm giving John O the credit for this again because he brought this up. Yeah, kind of in our car when we were heading back from the game. But me and Consuelo really looked at it. Oh, I'm sorry, it was to the game. And then Consuelo and I looked at it while we were at the game, looking at the roster. The reason why people are not players, well, the reason why players are not as all in to Alabama as they maybe should be, and maybe why they're not having as much success as a team, is because this is our belief. There's not very many guys from the state of Alabama
That's fair.
on the roster. They're all
They're from all over the place.
They don't know the importance of whatever Alabama Auburn or the Alabama way, the Alabama standard. They're just, we're going to Alabama to play to try to get to the pros or whatever it is, and that's it. So there's no real buy-in to the state or to the university. It's a stepping stone. So very individualized. I think there was one starter on offense, maybe two, maybe one. I think we only heard one starter at the time that was from Alabama on offense. There's a few more on defense, three, maybe four. I could be wrong on that. Could be less. A couple special teams guys because of the punter or kicker, whichever one's not from Australia or Austria.
Australia.
Yeah, and then when you look at the rest of the roster, they're just from everywhere. And I don't even know how many of them are scholarships. I think there was 35 total. you know, um, So I wonder if that has anything to do with the way that we played. Am I looking at that too much? Not giving players enough credit?
No, I mean that could be there could be something to that. I was trying to just like quickly look at like Ohio State's roster. See how many guys they had from Ohio. But the other thing that I wanted to do was like go back to, I don't know, let's say 2021. And then just find out where did the top guys from Alabama go?
Why are we losing them? You mean like?
Well,
Did they go down?
I don't know that we're
We're not going to
actually
know why we lost.
losing them, huh?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you're saying we probably didn't even recruit them.
No, I'm just curious because I legitimately do not know whether they're going to Alabama or not. So like, you know, Kool-Aid is from Alabama.
Yep.
Deontay Lawson and okay, so the top two players went to Alabama. The third player in the state went to Florida. The next two went to Auburn. Number 6 went to LSU. Number 7 went to Georgia. Number 8 went to Alabama. So, like, if you look at the top 10, you got 30% of them. Now, I know there's like need and things too.
Yep.
But I don't know if three of the top 5 are defensive linemen, probably should get those.
Yep. Let me move my bag out of the way. I got people stepping over stuff.
They didn't. They did not. They didn't get any of those. They got one defensive lineman from Alabama, two in the top 20.
I'm just wondering if that strategy, like you said, I don't know. We don't have enough insight to be able to say, okay, they did that because they didn't like them, or.
Well,
or
I mean, I think
because-
you know at the end of the day, you know all things considered, you go for the best guys, right? So,
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
you get a lot of guys from Florida, which I think you have to. Like you have to get a lot of guys from Florida.
You gotta
But
get Florida, you got to get some Georgia.
mm,
It's
but
going to California. So I remember, I think I told you this. It was, hold on, it was the conversation I actually had with Dabo while I was trying to get him to recruit a guy from here, from Texas. And his question at that time, he was like, okay, I see your dude, and yeah, he's good. Maybe he can play here or whatever. But I have that same dude here in South Carolina. So I'm going to try to go with the guy that's
mhm.
at home instead of the one that's in Texas. Pretty clear about it. Like, nah, we're going to pursue this other dude. So I don't know. I just don't know if we're taking that same kind of philosophy anymore, or is it just, hey, just get the, if the number one guy is in. How much difference is there between the number one guy and the number 5 guy in someone's ranking by position?
Well, I really guess it depends. I get your point, but the fact that I know I don't like picking on them, but the fact that Tommy Brockermeyer was number 2 in the state, number 6 overall, and like can't see the field.
Number 2 out here.
Yeah, he was number 2 in the state. He was number 2 recruit in Texas. He was the number 2 offensive tackle in the country, apparently, and he was the number 6 overall recruit in the country, regardless of position. And he hasn't been able to play for us, which that would be to play devil's advocate, that'd be my counterpoint to say there must be a real big difference between the number 1 tackle and the number 2 tackle, because, you know, but maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know,
get it,
because
and I guess
J.C.
I was
Latham
trying to
is the
put it
other
in
one.
within-
What do you say?
Yeah. No. I was just saying. I just don't know the difference between the.
There shouldn't
Well,
be.
that's when you
Like
have
there really
inconsistent
shouldn't be.
rankings
Like
on
when you're
rank-
talking
on
about
rank.
top 5 at a position in the country, like they're you should be splitting hairs. You should be saying, oh well, this dude's 6'8" and that one's 6'5", so we're gonna take the 6'8" guy instead of the 6'5" guy, or this one runs a little bit faster, or this one, or mobility, or something like that. It shouldn't be an ocean worth of talent gap, you know.
So, how many times do you think Nick Saban has made a mistake? If we're going to say this is a mistake to take those 2 guys, like that, to get to this point where you're saying, hey, we're recruiting guys that can't get on the field. They're ranked, they got the stars, but
so I'll say
don't bite your tongue, especially while he's out there.
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least 5 in 2020, and a transfer that I've never heard of. So then looking at the 2021 class is like, all right, so there's 6, 7, 8. I don't know who that guy is.
All right, so you got to scrap either your recruiting coordinator, rethink your philosophy on this whole recruiting piece. I don't know, because if it's evaluating talent and trying to get them on the field, it just, I don't know, man. It's just disappointing. I don't know how we're looking at this.
I don't know. I think some of them are like misses. I think some of them probably are misses.
That happens.
Yeah, I mean, but some of them are like high profile misses. But then there are other ones that I look and I'm like, how much is it? How much is development? Because like Ja'Cory Brooks is a 5-star receiver.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. Do you like him better or Trayshawn Holden?
Both of them can't catch, apparently. But if I had to pick one, I would prefer Ja'Cory Brooks. Craig says I think Saban should start from scratch with coaching, and I think he's right. And I've said this too. I think we got everybody? Maybe not everybody, but like I think you have to strike a balance between coaching ability and recruiting ability. And I can't remember what year it was, but whatever year that Tosh Lupoi was the defensive coordinator, which was a train wreck, they had a staff full of recruiters. They get anybody they wanted to, but they couldn't coach anybody. And it started to shift to where like then you start getting And maybe this is the thing. This is when you have, you get Doug Marrone on staff and you got Bill O'Brien, and you got all these like ex NFL head coaches. And it's like, all right, so now you have these coaches, but how good are those coaches actually at evaluating talent? I don't know. Like now I feel like you're getting into this dangerous territory where like Alabama's starting to recruit itself, which on one hand is nice because like you can be able to get in anybody's door, but then at the same time, it's not great because you're getting people to come in like that dude, Dylan Lonergan from Georgia. He's a quarterback, or not him. There's another guy, 2024, that said he's coming to Alabama because of Bill O'Brien's pro-style offense. Like, I get it. That's nice, but that's also, like, not nice because, like, you're a 2024 kid. So, like, who's to even say Bill O'Brien's even going to be here running this pro-style offense?
That's right.
And one could argue that a pro-style offense is not particularly the way to go in college football right now.
It's not.
So there's that. You can recruit for a pro-style offense, but a pro-style offense is, at least right now in college football, a good way to put yourself at a disadvantage.
Well, it's too much to go to from a high school kid straight to that. They're different. But I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, what kind of changes he makes. Heard Saban's been chewing some people out or whatever, but what difference does it make?
Well, I hope since they passed on Jim Leonhard as the head coach of Wisconsin, if I could trade Pete Golding for Jim Leonhard today, I would.
Well, I do have some good news.
What?
Alabama basketball team beat North Carolina.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
I watched it.
I just saw that. Was it
I
impressive
was
or was it lucky?
I was watching. I watched it up until the end of the game, when they went into the first overtime, and then the babies needed to get out of the house, so we went on a walk. And I was like, well, I'll just catch I won't watch overtime. I'll just catch the score when I get back in. When we got back in, they were still playing, and I was like, 3 overtimes? So I watched the third and the fourth overtime, as well as the only parts that I missed were the first 2 overtimes. So Craig Young says also congratulations Trent Dilfer on snagging the UAB head coach. John O says Glenn Schumann for DC. I don't know who that is.
Hold on. Okay, me either. But let's go back to this Trent Dilfer thing, or at least if we're done with the. So, Craig and others. So, was Trent Dilfer coaching anywhere before he got this head coaching job?
I'll find out.
I think the answer is no.
Greg says no.
All right.
He says high school. Yes, he was at Lipscomb Academy.
What the heck is that? How big is that? I haven't even heard of it. It ain't like you said Mater Dei or DeSoto.
No, it's a college prep. It's basically a John Paul in Nashville.
Okay. So I'm giving them congratulations. I'm just being critical now of the hiring of head coaches at UAB. Is not a small, not prominent school. It's not D2. It's not something. So is that where we're kind of going now? I'm thinking of like how the Colts just hired this
Jeff Saturday.
Yes. You take a big program like this and you hire a high school head coach to be the head coach, not a coordinator, not a something. Just the new trend of just going out of left field and finding somebody that maybe is not qualified. Don't have to be a coordinator anymore. Don't have to be a position coach in college.
Hold on. I'm looking at something before I. He said, "Who was a mediocre? Who was a mediocre QB? Didn't he win a? He's at least Super Bowl winner, ain't he?"
Yeah, he's got something behind his name.
I'm trying to find Joey McGuire's Wikipedia page. Joey McGuire. Okay. So Joey McGuire is the head coach at Texas Tech.
Okay.
He was the head coach at Cedar Hill from 2003 to 2016, and then he made the jump from Cedar Hill to Baylor as a tight ends coach 2017 through 2018, and then he was the associate head coach in defensive ends 2019 for Baylor. 2020 and 2021, he was the assistant head coach and the outside linebackers coach for Baylor, and then 2022 he took over as the head coach at Texas Tech and went 7-5. The other one that immediately came to mind when you were like, how did he get a job? Was I was thinking the first name that popped in my head was Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, same.
And I don't know how he went from being the head coach at Springdale, or wherever that is in Arkansas, to being the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
I don't.
Seems great, but like it worked out. Like he won a national championship doing his deal.
It does, but what do you just think about the path? What do you tell a person on the path of how to actually get to? I'm not saying anything wrong with it. Okay, it's fine, but just think about your steps now to say, okay, to be the head coach at Missouri, just have some experience. Just go be a head coach and apply. Have your degree. Maybe you get it. Maybe you don't. If you know one, you know someone, you can get in. I don't know. Just I don't even know the career path now for a coach. You kind of knew your steps. Like in high school, you had to go 7th grade, 8th, 7th grade, be the 8th grade to coordinator to too many. But still, then you got to get to varsity. You got to go to JV, go to varsity. We're taking. I don't know. It would be the same, that, okay, am I qualified to be the head coach of Liberty? No.
I don't know. Liberty might disagree with you.
So, but, there's just different facets. There's just things I don't know. All the rules, all the guidelines, maybe you just got to lean on people to say, Coach, you just coach. We'll help you with all the rest. We got people around you to make sure, and maybe that's it. Even with, these guys getting these pro jobs too. Man.
Well, look, so I'll be the first to say I don't know how Cliff Kingsbury hoodwinked the Cardinals into, like, I don't get it. I'm never going to get it. At least, like, with the whole Jeff Saturday thing with the Colts, like, yeah, on its face, it doesn't make sense. But at least there is something, you can imagine a scenario so crazy with the Colts, knowing who their owner is, that you're like, yeah, it just makes sense. Like, this just sounds like something he would do. But how Cliff Kingsbury can be the head coach at Texas Tech and do absolutely nothing there and pick up a head coaching job in the NFL, like, it's just beyond me. I don't know how that happens.
First of all, his name is Cliff. Uh, but I don't know, just think about when the owner went into this staff of the Colts. All those guys have been there on whatever working grind, and you say interim now, not the head coach. The person's going to help us finish out the rest of this year is this dude. He played for me. Blah 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 blah. Now think about that. If I was that, well, no, the AD and fire the coach. All you guys have been grinding, doing your stuff. You've been defensive coordinator. You've been the associate head coach. And I say, well, my buddy over here who does this podcast with me that he does a lot of analyst stuff or whatever. He's gonna come in and run the team for the rest of the year. Y'all report to him. Man, what kind of conversation gonna happen with all y'all at Truck and Jive later on that night? I mean, for real.
I don't know. I don't know.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Really?
I think that there would be some conversation from some folks. It probably wouldn't be from me, just because I don't see myself as that kind of person. I would at least give him a shot first. Now that shot might only be like 2 weeks, and just like see like do you actually know anything at all? Like, is this something where you like have at least a little bit of a baseline? Because like I don't know. I guess I see myself as kind of that guy of like, all of a sudden I'm a defense coordinator and I'm looking around like, how the hell did this happen?
Right.
But situation is a little bit different because at least there were some guys on that staff that were kind of like pushing me to be the defense coordinator. So at least I felt like I had some support. I think it'd be a little bit different. But I don't know. At the same time, like I said, I would at least give the guy a shot and say, maybe we can learn this together. But there would probably be a point where I would be like, man, this dude, like, he ain't seen nothing. He don't know what's going on. Like, I'd have to get up there and do the Mike Singletary. Can't win with him. Can't coach with him. Can't do it.
Well, the good thing is that he won the first game.
Yes.
Now, what happens after that? Because he's about to catch this stomping by the Cowboys this week.
Well,
did you watch Matt Ryan? Come on, man. Did you see Matt Ryan this game? I don't know if you watched it either.
No, I don't concern myself with the Colts. They're not a good football team.
Dude is garbage.
I mean, he's old. He's old now.
I said that on Sunday on the Cowboys game day, but man, I was sitting there watching the game. I don't even know how he threw the ball, JT. It didn't even go anywhere. And I was just, me and another dude sitting at the bar was like, what in the hell was that? Because it was awful.
Well, I mean, look, I don't concern myself with Matt Ryan anymore. He's gone downhill pretty quickly. The Colts have had their share of problems. All I know is when I think about stuff like that with Jeff Saturday and these Trent Dilfer things, somehow my mind always gets back to Jimbo Fisher because he has done it again. He's done it again where you think just when you're like this close, like, dude, they got to get rid of this dude. Like, how do you have, the hype that came into this year, number one recruiting class, we're going to go beat Bama again, and then, like, you don't even make a bowl game, not even eligible to make a bowl game. And just when you least expect it, they beat the number 5 team in the country. And again, Jimbo can go in and say, we have hope. And that's all it takes to keep a job. And I think that's all it takes to get a job is if you can provide hope.
Well.
Hey, but you know who I think should win Coach of the Year this year?
In college or in the pros?
In college.
Let me see.
Craig says him. No, for real.
Nah. Craig said hold his beer. He thought he can coach.
I would like to hear. I'd like to hear the chat's opinions on who they think is coach of the year. But there's somebody that I've been like really impressed with this year.
I have no idea where you're gonna go. I'm just thinking about you and your personality. You might pick somebody from the Ivy League or something.
No. It's a Power 5 school.
Can you narrow it down to a conference?
I feel like if I give you the conference, it'd be too easy. But I'll give you the conference. It's
ACC.
No, it's the SEC.
Oh, I don't know. If you're not picking, what is the guy's name at Tennessee? I guess you might go South Carolina. I don't know all the head coaches' names. Those are the only two. Unless you're gonna pick Cadillac Williams.
No.
No, tell us.
I'm going with Clark Lee at Vanderbilt.
Okay, all right.
They were one game shy of a bowl game this year.
And they beat a SEC team.
They beat an SEC team and for the first time in a long time.
That's
Matter of
crazy.
fact, they beat two of them. And up until that upset that A&M pulled, Clark Lee had just as many SEC wins as Jimbo did this year.
How do you get fired from Vanderbilt? What are the standards that? I mean, if you're not really winning, what? Okay, if you go 2-9 all the time, 3-8.
You know, So this is a great question because at least in recent memory, there's only been one coach that's been fired from Vanderbilt. It was Derek Mason, who I have a ton of respect for. I think Derek Mason is a very good defensive coordinator. I thought he did a very good job with Vanderbilt anyway. But I'm trying to figure out what his record was.
And do you take that job as a stepping stone?
Well, Clark Lee is from Nashville. He went to Vanderbilt. He graduated from Vanderbilt. He was at Notre Dame. I think this is the job he wanted.
Hold on. Did you know it was 9:25 already?
I did not. No, I did not.
I know. I was like, what the? Just the karaoke crowd is coming in. You know, we got karaoke in here about 35 minutes.
Well, I guess we need to wrap up. But Derek Mason went 27-55 over his 6-year, 7 seasons there, which you might say, that's not terrible as Vanderbilt. But like if I told you that he won 33% of his games, you'd be like, no, you got to get the dude out of here. It doesn't matter if it's Vanderbilt or not.
All right.
Especially since the coach that he replaced was James Franklin, who, granted, was only there for 3 seasons, but won 60% of his games. He went 24-15. So,
he was cheating, so they got him out of there.
well, he went to Penn State, so he got a pretty good pay raise from there. But you know,
I don't know, man.
John O says Vandy likely to get a bowl at 5-7. Not enough. 6-6 are better teams to fill all the bowls. 5-7 teams get invited based by APR, right? And he believes that Vandy is the top in APR, 1 or 2. So, yeah, they might go to bowl.
Screw that. Cancel all the bowl games. There's too many bowl games.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I already wrote an article about this. We've been talking about this all the time.
I don't know what the real number needs to be, but what is there really for real? 48 or something like that?
More than half of FBS teams play in bowl games.
So imagine if you were the Miami Hurricanes. and you don't even go to the bowl. How does that happen?
Well,
Hurricanes, they're trash.
they are. They are trash. Not even like secretly garbage. They are just
All that
garbage.
all that hype and all the videos you show of all the new things they got and the new recruits and just
Yeah, I mean, look, they when they lost to Miami or when they lost to Texas A&M week 3, you knew the season was over
okay.
because A&M had just lost to Appalachian State at home, and then the score was 17-9. Like they couldn't score a touchdown against A&M. Then they followed up with a loss to Middle Tennessee State. They gave up 45 to them. They were close against UNC. They beat Virginia Tech. Duke put 45 up. Duke is not good.
Yeah, I don't know how they still got his job.
But to the nail in the coffin for me was when they played Virginia and they went into overtime with Virginia. And the score was 14-12. And they scored 14 points without scoring a touchdown. Absolutely wild.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get to my hot wings, which are very, very good. If you guys have not had the hot wings here, you need to try them. They have put a little bit of spice on these hot ones now. They're not. They turned up the heat on them a little bit. They got some extra pepper on these buffalo wings. Maybe they did them just for me. It's a great spot to come hang out. I am gonna have me a. What did he say? I was reading your thing up.
It says, "Come on, Cheese at Armpit Bowl in Des Moines, Iowa is a destination."
Oh gosh.
Hey, the best stadium in Des Moines is the Blue Oval at Drake. So, actually, that might actually be one of the only stadiums in Des Moines. So, and I know ain't no bowl games in Des Moines. He might mean Ames, which the Cheez-It Bowl is not in Iowa. Anyway, I don't know. He asked how were the cheese sticks.
I'm only going to the. I'll tell you how good they are. They're actually out. They don't have it anymore. We got to put in this order tomorrow because I tried to order something. He's like, no, we just ran out, so we got to get some. So come back next week, and we'll share some. So let's go ahead and get out of here, brother. Man, it's been a long day. It's gonna be another long one for me tomorrow. Got some basketball games I got to attend, or soccer, or one of these sports. What I got to do, you know. But it's been good, man. Just be able to chat, talk. Thank everybody for listening.
Wait, one more thing. Breaking news.
Okay.
7 minutes ago, the Rose Bowl has signed an agreement that will allow the college football playoff to be expanded to 12 teams in 2024 and 2025.
The Rose Bowl allowed this? I'm kind of confused at that part.
Okay, hold on. So let me get my quick rant. Let me get my quick rant out the way because the Rose Bowl annoys me to no end. Because the Rose Bowl basically says, "Look, we are not like we play our game at this time on January 1st. I don't care what else is going on." So what college football playoffs were trying to do was like, okay, look, we got to make all the big bowls happy, Sugar Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, all that stuff. So you guys can be part of the playoffs still, and since there'll be more teams, everybody, like all you New Year's 6 games, can be part of the playoffs. Except we want to structure it to where the big games get prime time and this, that, and this other thing. And the Rose Bowl was like, look. We play at 5:30 Pacific, which is 7:30 Central and 8:30 Eastern, which is when they want to play all the games. And they're like, well, we're not giving up our TV slot so that you can play these playoff games. Y'all gonna have to figure this out. And we're just not moving the game. And this is exactly why right now, when those college semifinals, sometimes are played on New Year's Eve, and everybody hates it, and it's because the Rose Bowl won't move their game.
Ah, okay. I was wondering how that New Year's Eve bowl games that came up.
Yeah, it's because when the Rose Bowl is not part of the playoffs, they're like, well, we're still playing at 5:30 on New Year's Day anyway, so deal. And the college football playoff committee knelt and kissed the ring and was like, yeah, sure, we'll just put our games on New Year's Eve.
So I wonder what the caveat is in there. That hey, did they make a back end deal that hey, yeah, we can play it, but we're still going to have our game on this date at 5:30. We're just going to be always a part of it, or we're going to be the featured game, the title game.
I haven't read the article, but basically they're the only one that has their own independent contract. So they were like, we're not breaking the contract until 2026 because that's when the contract's up, and we're going to play at 2 p.m. Pacific and whatever. So I don't know what they agreed to, but I'm definitely going to look at it because the Rose Bowl is overrated.
All right, put that down on the sheet next week, and we'll talk about it. But let me get out of here and let these people get to do what they're doing. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. Download this thing, give us a like. Come on out here and see me too, man. We got some time, got some downtime. It'll be good. All right. So, JT, let's call it a night, brother. I got to finish my food. I didn't get to eat my chicken. I've been talking for over an hour, man. I got to get it. I got to get going. So, kiss the babies for me. Everyone else, y'all have a good night. We're out.